Hi, I'm Natalie Pace, and today is day 7 of our 21-day gratitude game coaching program. It's 21 days to a healthier, wealthier, more beautiful you. Today, day 7, is the mantra is create. Now, you might think, oh, I gotta go create something, huh? Creation is something that happens all the time. Every cent you own, every moment we spend is always an investment. It's always creating something. I got a little scratch in my throat. I'm going to pause for just a second. So we're always creating something. In fact, it's now day 7, right? What has shifted? What did you create with that action that you took a few days ago? Towards either love, breathing, forgiveness, gratitude, all of the fire ritual, all of these things. Has there been a shift? Have you created something? I want to talk about a major shift that happened in my life. I have been hyper focused on Put Your Money Where Your Heart Is was the name of my first book, written back in 2006. I have always had a strong focus on investing in renewable energy and things of that nature, and not being invested in things that you might picket, not profiting from what you picket. But what was really interesting was in 2010, the BP oil spill. I asked myself, I couldn't deny, as I was putting gasoline in my car, and of course, these images that we all saw of gasoline spewing, of oil spewing into the Gulf of Mexico, I could not disassociate myself from what I was doing and what was happening. I knew that my reliance on oil, that oil companies were digging a mile beneath mile down into the ocean floor to satiate my oil addiction. And I started on the path. It took a little while to get there, of, getting rid of my car, relying more on public transport, micro mobility, walking more. And it worked. So I want us, each one of us, to be doing that kind of personal audit every year. I'm not saying that you have to be as passionate about the environment and, cleaning up your life, with regard to gasoline and all of that sort of thing, as much as I do. I'm just saying, whatever it is that you believe in, make sure that you're not profiting from the exact thing that you're picketing. Make sure that your actions and your mind are creating the world that you really want. And even if it is, I don't want to be poor. Okay, so how do you create wealth rather than, if you are worried about being poor, how do you create wealth? Remember that you want to be proactive. Like, you wouldn't tell your child it's not as effective. Don't do that. It's a better idea to say, do this, right? Like sending them out into the world and saying, be cognizant of what's going on around you, rather than, don't try that because you might fall and hurt yourself. Does that make sense? That we want to start thinking and embodying and acting on the exact thing that we would like to create. And when we hear in our own thoughts, minds, etc., that we don't want to do something, or we're worried about something, again, the fire ritual is helping us to reframe that into what we do want to create. So today, I think, should be a little bit more of a journaling activity, where you are taking ownership of the things that you're creating in your life, with or without knowing it. Now, you might say, I'm not creating poverty. I just don't get paid enough, and my bills are too much. And honestly, I empathize with you, because wages have gone up a little bit. But if you looked at the trajectory of wages versus basic needs over the last 25 years, it is disgusting, honestly. So I am with you. If you're under 40 and you're paying 50% of your income on rent, you're right. It's major effed up. And we, rather than, I'm not saying you shouldn't elect who you think can solve the problem. What I'm saying is don't wait for the politicians to solve the problem. Let's fix things for you now. There are solutions out there. We, yes, need to solve this. There's not enough housing. There's not enough affordable housing. The costs are too high. Inflation has made things crazy. It was already crazy even before we had this crazy inflation. But there are solutions now. If your utility bill is too high, there's a solution for that. If your gasoline bill is too high, there's a solution for that. Again, it didn't happen overnight that I got rid of my car. But acknowledging the problem and taking ownership that I was co-creating a problem that was in the headlines that I was disgusted by and that my fingerprints were on it was the start. Remember how I talked about anger being a fantastic fuel? If you're angry about how much you spend on your bills, then use that fuel to find the solutions so that you create a life that adds up rather than blaming others and feeling like you need to start a revolution. I'm not saying that we need solutions. Absolutely. We need politicians that are helping with these solutions. But the problem has been building up for 25 years. It didn't just happen last year. And the solutions that you can implement now are not difficult. They require brave choices so that you can be the change you wish to see first and then start helping others. So we are creators. That's the truth. Whether we choose not to take ownership and others create our reality for us, or whether we decide we're going to be the boss of our life and our money, we're going to find solutions to our problems. And once we find them, we're going to share those solutions with others. And that path out of hardship through hard circumstances, but knowing that you're following the light of wisdom, it's not easy. It's not easy to do that. It doesn't happen overnight, but there are all kinds of discoveries and magic and personal transformation that happens along the way. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow. We're going to be starting our second week. So if you really have followed along and done each one of these mantras, each one of these practices every single day, you're already starting to shift. And we're going to accelerate that shift into week 2, starting tomorrow. Thanks again. It's Natalie Pace, nataliepace.com. If you are having budgeting problems, read the Thrive Budget section of the ABCs of Money 5th edition. Also the debt section of that same book. Again, if you're worried about your college or your child's college, read the ABCs of Money for College. If you are concerned about greening your portfolio, and by the way, ESG investing is false advertising. It's missing the E. If you are wanting to do ESG investing, then I strongly encourage you to come to one of my retreats and also to read Put Your Money Where Your Heart Is and The Power of 8 Billion. You can get additional information on all of this on the homepage at nataliepace.com. You can reach out to us, info@nataliepace.com, 310-430-2397 if you prefer to call us. Thank you.